close this here. Gonna go back. We have users. By the way, guys, just a reminder, I have created 2 assignments on Leah that I gave you guys in the class, right? Those assignments have to be uploaded on Leah by the end of the day today, right? This is from day 1 and day 2, right? You do not need to send it to me, but you need to upload it on Leah.
I have a question about the assignment 1.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's an observation that I made, actually. I've done the assignment. When you sort, does it affect the original array?
When you sort,
You
let's
sort
read
and
the
save it
API.
to another name, to another variable. Does it affect the original array? Because when I do the mapping afterwards, after
Yeah,
having done the sorting,
yeah,
it lists it sorted. But when I comment out the sort, it doesn't list it sorted. It keeps the original order.
right. So let's say I don't remember, which I don't, right?
Okay.
What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to sort documentation, and I'm gonna just read it from there,
Okay.
right? And we're gonna see how we can find these kind of things, right?
Okay.
It says the sort method sorts the element of an array in place and returns the sorted array, right? The default sort order is ascending, built upon converting the elements into string, then comparing their sequences of this. The time and space complexity of the sort cannot be guaranteed, blah, blah, blah. But important part here is this. The sort method sorts the element of an array in place and returns the sorted array, right? So what you get is the sorted array in return. So if
Yeah.
you want to, right?
But does it actually affect the original array?
No, the sorted array, not note that the array is sorted in place. Implicit algorithm transfer input using the actuator, however small the structure is. The input is usually overridden by the output as algorithm executes.
So it is affected.
Yeah, yep,
Okay.
in place.
That would explain why it comes out sorted when I do the mapping.
Yeah,
All right, thanks.
and let's quickly check too. Just want to make sure. Yeah, even in example here, this is the array. You know, it's being sorted, and then they are just printing the same array. You know, they're not storing the result in any other array. So yeah, whereas map does not. That's something I'm very sure about.
Oh, map creates a new array.
Exactly, right? But if you ever need to read the documentation, MDN web docs is the place where you need to come, right?
Okay.
This is like the official documentation
Okay.
they have. I'm gonna close this. All right, start with something new. Let's create a new request. Create a collection. All right, I'm not gonna save anything. I'm just gonna come here. So is it safe to assume that all of you are familiar with how Postman works? Give me a yes if you say, okay, I know what Postman does and I know how to use it. All right, I can make an API request. 5 people so far, 4, 5. Seven, 8, right? 8 people say they are comfortable with it. Right, I'm gonna clear this. All right. So not all of you are comfortable with it. So if you're someone who already knows how it works, what it does, please bear with me for next 5-10 minutes, right? I'm just gonna quickly go over it so that everyone is comfortable with knowing what it does. So first of all, as I said, make sure you do have Postman installed on your system, right? Someone asked me if they can use the web version. Sure, if you're comfortable with that, you can use the web version. So Postman is basically a testing tool, which lets you create or make not create, but make API calls to your APIs. All right. So we are creating APIs, but right now we do not have any front end, right? We do not have any front end application. We do not have any HTML, CSS, JavaScript application, which we could use to consume these applications. All right. There is no front end application that we could use to use the APIs that we have created so far. All right. So when we are only dealing with APIs, because you could be a backend developer, right? And maybe you don't create a front-end application, or you could be a full stack application developer, but you're going to create your APIs first. And once you're done with the creation of APIs, then you're going to create your front end, right? So it could be any kind of scenario, or even, you could be a tester. You could be a tester in a company, and you could be testing APIs if the APIs are working fine or not, and as per the specifications. So there are different kind of scenarios where you would use Postman, right? Now you can make different kind of calls in Postman. If you remember from yesterday, we discussed different kind of HTTP verbs, right? HTTP methods of making an API call, right? We discussed get request, post request, put, patch, delete, right? We just verbally discussed it. We haven't used it. We haven't created these requests, right? But we did discuss these methods here. Get, post, put, patch, delete. These are the important ones. There are more, right? But they're not as important as of now, right? So get request, let's see how we can make a get request that we, to an API that we created yesterday, right? So if we go back here, we have a users API, right? A users get request. So, and our server runs on localhost 3000, right? And our API is /users. And we want to make a get request. All right. All right, let me run my server. Let me make sure my server is running. Oh, it is. I already did npm start, so that looks good. So yeah, I'm simply gonna press send. It's gonna send a API request, right? We can see that our server did receive a request, get /users, and if it returned it successfully, HTTP response header 200 means that the request was returned successfully, right? And it took this much time, 15 milliseconds, right? And here we have our response. We maximize it, right? This is the response we have received. Right now, you would say, hey, we were able to do the same thing in the browser, right? So why do I need to install Postman and, do some extra work? So the thing is, you would be able to make a get request in a browser, but you won't be able to make a post request or a put request for that matter, right? So by default, when you put this in your browser, it would make the get request for you, right? But that's it. You won't be able to do, anything more than that. So that's the reason we are going to use Postman, right? And you can save this request to later on if you need to test it or something. And if you save it, you can actually say what kind of request it is. You can say get -users, right? You can put in description. Here you can say get all users, right? And select a collection or a folder to save. We do not have a collection, so I'm going to create one here. Web services, create a collection, select it here. save to web services, right? And now it's going to be saved here. And now even if I close this, I could simply open this up, right? Check everything here. And even if I have parameters, I would be able to, see those parameters here. So it would give an example to the person, whoever is looking at this documentation. Now, this may not seem very useful to your own self because you are creating the API. But again, if you remember what I said yesterday, you always need to think of the problem at a bigger scale. You always need to think of the problem, as if you are working in a huge team for last 2 years with at least 10 to 15 developers, right? And then things would start making sense. If you are a front-end developer, it's going to help you understand and use someone else's API. If you are a backend developer, it's going to help you to give these API to a front-end person, right? So that the person could understand the API. The person would never have to open the backend code. The person would be able to come here, see, okay, this is get users API. This is a URL that I need to call. And these are the parameters that I need to pass, right? So again, at a bigger level, it really helps sharing the code between front-end and back-end developers too, all right? So again, that's a few applications of the Postman is being able to share the request, and you can also test your API, all right? A tester could test your APIs and see if it's working fine or not as well, right? Any question or any doubt so far regarding Postman?
Excuse me, just how did you save get users in web service?
Sorry, say that again.
How did you save get users
Okay.
get method?
So once you make any changes here, you just need to press Command Save. You know how you save files in your editors, or you should also be able to find the save button here. Let me see.
There should be a save button right next to the send button.
Here. Here. For me, it's here. I think I might be able to mark it too. Control S for, Control S for Windows, Command S for Mac, or you can simply click on Save here.
Thank you.
Right, so let's do this. Make sure you're able to make a call to users API that we created yesterday, and also make sure that you're able to save the API call, right? And whenever you are done with that, give me a yes. I'm gonna post this. Able to make API call and save.
Excuse me.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm using the web version, but
I'm really sorry, but I think there's some problem with your mic. It's really hard to hear
Okay.
what you're saying.
Okay.
Let me confirm, is anyone else facing the same problem, or is it just me?
No, that's from my side.
His problem.
Okay, his problem. Yeah, is there a way you could fix that?
I'll try.
All right, because it's really hard for me to understand what you're asking, or maybe you can type in your question if it's possible until your mic gets fixed. Right. Meanwhile, you guys do this. I'm quickly gonna create orders route for myself.
Sorry, for me, it doesn't work. It gives me an error. I don't know why. It says the page couldn't find, I think. Couldn't
Oh.
get any response.
Is your server running? If you go to your server, is it running right now?
What do you mean by server running?
NPM start, because when we do NPM start, we
No, it
start.
gives me an error again. Should I run PowerShell as administrator again?
I don't think you should have to, but yeah, I mean, you can give it a try if that helps. But when you run the server, you see the error?
Before I running the server, I saw the error, and then I tried
Oh, okay.
to
That was something.
yeah, and I try to run the server, and it gives me an error. I don't know what happened. So some couple hours later, I could have access to the server, but I don't know what happened now.
What's the error that you see? What does it say?
It says life cycle and error 1.
Can you copy paste the error in the chat, please?
Actually, I have another laptop, so maybe I should leave the meeting and come back with my same laptop to share the screen.
Sure, yeah, we can do that later. But there are usually a few things that you need to make sure. You need to make sure you are in the right folder when you run npm start, and you just need to make sure that you did npm install and you have node modules installed.
Because yeah, I removed the node models
Right.
for the assignment, so maybe that's the problem.
Right. So you just need to do npm install and you should be fine.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. And never don't ever hesitate to do npm install if you're not sure if you need to install them or not, because even if you run npm install multiple times, it's never gonna cause any issue to you.
Okay, thank you so much.
No problem. All right. I'm gonna create orders here. Product name.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm having, I don't know, just a weird issue I don't quite understand. When I do my localhost 3000 users.
Excuse me?
Yeah, yeah, Khalil, we can hear you and your mic seems to be fine. Yeah, Manny, go ahead.
All I get is respond with a resource.
Okay, sorry, can you repeat that entire thing?
All I get, all I get is respond with a resource, and that's all I get. I think I missed something.
Are you sure you ran the right server? Because that's something we see when you create a new project.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Oh my God. Okay, where am I?
Yeah.
Okay, so when I do just local, when I just go to index, it says welcome to Express. So I mean it's the wrong place.
Which is fine. If you go to index, that's fine. But the thing is, check your users. Make sure that you are running the right project. And if you are, then check what you have in users.js in that project. Right?
Yeah, I have users. Okay, so oh yeah, okay, so I don't have the users in there. Okay,
There you go.
and when I do orders, okay, I get an error with the orders. Okay, it was working.
There you go. And by the way, if there's anyone who is not done with the orders router, I'm doing it right now, right? Either you can follow me or I'm going to be pushing this code in a few minutes too, right? So it's like I'm already giving you the assignment that you need to upload. So orders here, gonna go to app.js, right? Let me import it. Orders, router,
Why did I miss this?
wire, routes slash orders. I'm importing it here. And then app dot use. I need to run it on orders. Then orders order here. This should connect my order router. And I've saved this. Need to restart my server. npm
I'm
start.
missing a semicolon, line 8.
It shouldn't give any error. So funny thing is semicolon is optional in JS. Okay, I see an error. Let's see what went wrong. App.use requires a middleware function. Orders router. It says I haven't used it, which is weird. Oh, it's supposed to be a comma here. Right. Should work now. Oh, someone already sent me not dot comma line 21. Thank you. All right, it's working now. Let's go here. So I'm gonna click on this plus sign now to create a new request. All right, it works like, you know, our browsers. So again, local host 3000, but instead of users, this time it's gonna be orders. Right? I'm gonna make the get request, send. It's working fine. I have orders, array orders, and then I have my product name and price. Right? So it's working fine. So I'm just gonna save this by clicking this save button here, right? And I'm gonna say get orders, right? Get all the orders in the system. Save to web services. There you go. All right, so we have both of these requests saved now. All right, I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna push this code to GitHub. History crap. Seriously. Get add all. Are you guys comfortable with Git and GitHub so far or not yet?
Yes.
Nice.
We haven't done it on the terminal.
So it's only with what, VS Code or what kind of IDE?
No, we actually just used the browser. And we were using source tree.
No, okay. Alrighty, that works too.
For me, I'm more comfortable with terminal.
Yeah, I'm also a terminal guy, command line guy.
Yeah, me too.
I feel like it's more freedom and it's more flexible, and I never have to worry about what IDE I use, or I don't have to rely on any other tool. And especially if you start working on servers, you're not going to have source stream or you're not going to have browsers, right? So you would have to get comfortable with command line one day, not now, but I mean, maybe 2 years down the line, right?
It's not a matter of comfort. We were just never taught it.
Yeah, yeah. That too is important. I understand. And it's you guys don't even have any course specifically teaching you Git or anything, right? It's more like if a teacher is nice, you know, and he or she decides to, you know, teach you
Right.
that side of things. So yeah, I think you should thank the teacher who taught you Git anyway, no matter what way.
Because I think I fixed it, but um, I get a error says orders router is not defined.
Right. So a few things that you need to make sure.
Okay.
I think most likely this file would be fine because most of us would be copy pasting it and there's not much to change. I think if you have any problem, the problem would be here. You need to make sure you require the orders router.
The JS
You need
file.
to make sure, yeah, exactly. And
It was
then
working
you need to,
yesterday. Orders router, orders router. I have it there. I have app use.
yeah.
var. Okay, the var first. Oh, my var is not there. How come? It was working yesterday. So okay, users.
You guys know the jokes around works on my system, right?
Yeah.
Happens a lot. Works on my machine. Yeah, it's usually that your disconnection of the router with the app is maybe not working fine. And guys, I hate to do this, but var use now this is, I know Express generated it for us, but using var is, you know, not the best way to declare variables here. So I'm quickly gonna change this to const, right? Now there's this shortcut by which I can select all the vars here, right? And I'm just gonna change them to const at once.
To have it.
Right, as I mentioned before, your priority of using or declaring variables should be const at the top priority, then let, and then var. And honestly, you should never need to use var, like never ever. Khalil, if your mic is working fine, I think you had a question which,
I solved it.
oh, you solved it? All right, awesome.
Okay, but one thing now, yesterday it was this yes and no was available for me. Today I cannot see it. I see just invite, so I cannot do yes or no today. I don't know.
Oh,
This
that's
weird.
weird.
This weird. Nothing changed with the version of the Zoom. I don't know. This is just weird.
Yeah, but I don't think it should be anything other than Zoom, I guess. The version of Zoom, I mean.
Yeah, but nothing had changed from yesterday, I think. But sometimes this has happened, I think.
Yeah, it's all right. Whenever I say, just send me a direct message of yes or no, and that should be fine too.
Okay, thank you.
Right. The important thing is I just need to know where we are at. All right, someone asked a question in the message. They say where the default port number 3000 is defined, where can we change it in my app? So it's defined here on line number 15 here inside bin www file, right? Now, what's happening here is they check in your environments if you have the port number. If not, they use this default number here, right? And we are not setting anything in the environment right now. These are environment variables, which are set in operating system. We are not playing with them as of now. This is important if you need to deploy your service to a server or something, right? But if you need to change your server from 3000 to something else, you can just change this number here. Someone said, how did you select all the var at the same time? I can definitely show you that. So click on var, all right, and again, I know how it works on Mac. It should be similar on Windows too, right? It shouldn't be too different, but you select var and then you press Command D, right? And it's gonna keep selecting all the vars, right? And then you're gonna see I have multiple blinking cursors here. Now, if I delete, it's gonna delete from everywhere. If I type something, it's gonna type at all the places, right? It really comes in handy if you need to make multiple changes, right? Again, you select this, right? You select the variable, you select the word that you want to highlight, then you press Command D, all right, as many times as you want, right? And then you can type in whatever you want, and it basically you have your cursors at multiple places now, right? So you can do const, save it, and that's it.
On Windows, it's Control D.
Control D. All right, so just replace the command with control. Command D and Control D. And there's other shortcut that I use a lot, which is Option and then click. All right. So if I need to make multiple changes, right, I could click here, right? Wherever I need to do the same change, I can click and then I can press Option. It's Option for me, Alt or Option for me on Mac. It should be maybe Alt for you on Windows. And then I can click and you're gonna see I'm gonna have multiple copies of my cursor, right? So maybe I want to remove all the semicolons, right? So I can have my cursor at multiple places. Now, if I do delete, it's going to delete from all 3 places, right? If I want to put a semicolon, it's going to put semicolon on all 3 places. All right, do not forget to give me a yes if you have users and orders working fine and saved in Postman. So far I have 10 yes. 11 yes already. All right. 12. Righty. All right, so thanks. Wow. All right, awesome. You guys like it. Okay, so what do we need to do next? We have GET request. Now we should create a POST request, right? So how would we create another user here? Guys, quick question. Have you guys done ever authentication? Like, have you guys ever done login? Have you guys done any application in which you do an email and password thing and you make sure the person's logged in and all of that?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. So we can do that, I guess, eventually when we have our database. For now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do router.post, right? This is how you create a post request. And we want it on the same path, right? This entire router is mounted on /users, and we want to create a new user when we send a post request on /users, right? So we are not going to change anything in the path, right? And then we need to have a function, right? Where we are going to have request and response, right? And so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to log the request object here, right? That's the only thing I'm going to do here. And once I log this in response.json, I'm going to create a JSON and I'm just going to say response request received. Right. Now I'm going to create this request here, right? Gonna go here. From the dropdown, I'm going to select post and localhost 3000 users. That's what I want, right? And I'm going to go to body here. I'm going to have raw. So I'm going to select JSON from here, right? That's what I want to send from the front end. And when I'm creating a new user, let's say I want to send name and age, right? Name. Arrow. And let's do age 55. This needs to be around quotation. And yeah, this looks good enough. So we are making a post request on users route, right? And this is the data we are sending, right? Now, because we are creating a user, we need to send some data, right? And we're gonna press send, right? Cannot post users. There's some error. Let's see what I missed.
You need to restart the server.
No, servers fine. Have here it sent 404, so it wasn't able to find this request. Did I create it at the right place? Users. Oh, I need to restart it. Sorry. Yeah. So restart it to server. Send now. There you go. Right. It sent me the response request received. Right. I go back here and it's going to show me the entire request object. Right. Now I'm showing you guys this because this request object contains a lot of information that can be used. Right? This is all the information you receive in the request. Right? All of this, like obviously you don't need to know and remember all of this. Right? Let's quickly replicate this on your system. Gonna give you guys a few minutes here. If you are able to create this post request, and if you're able to make a call from Postman, do not forget to give me a yes.
Can I see your Postman?
Sure. Yeah, don't forget to select a few things here, right? First of all, you will have to select post request from here. Second thing, body from here. And we want to send JSON data. So don't forget to select JSON from here.
I'm sorry, what did you do when you saw the error?
I had
fix
to
it?
restart my server.
Ah, okay.
Right, 7 people are done.
Sorry, I can't seem to select JSON in my body. I got raw, binary, GraphGL, and I don't see the option for JSON.
So you're gonna select raw and then you're gonna see this option.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
No problem.
Yeah, no kidding. Okay, thank you.
No problem. Meanwhile, I'm gonna set up the restart server thing. I think it's gonna be a lot of problem to restart it every time. Quickly gonna check something before I have you guys install it. All right, 11 people done. All right. So let's do that thing where you do not have to restart your server again and again, right? For that, what we're gonna do is we are gonna use a package Nodemon, right? So install this package globally, right? Sudo npm install -g Nodemon, right? If you are on Windows, you do not need to add sudo, right? You just need to do npm install -g Nodemon, right? This is a program which is going to help us to restart the server automatically whenever we change anything in a file. Right? You're going to run sudo npm install space -g space nodemon, right? Press enter. It's going to install the package for you. Right? And now you would be able to do nodemon, right? Space, and then you need to give the path to this file here, right? Right now I'm in my app, right? So I can say, hey, I want to run bin/www, right? And this is going to run my server and it's going to keep watching my files automatically, right? So now if I change this age from 35 to 37, and if I save, you're going to see it's going to restart the server automatically for us. So you need to run your server using nodemon space and then path to the file, right? Path to the file www. So nodemon bin/www. Now this is because I am in my app on terminal, right? So when I press enter, it's gonna, server's gonna start automatically. And you see, I go to users, get users. You know what, I didn't save the post request. I'm gonna save this first. Post dash users. Gonna save this. Now I'm gonna go and get users. Right, it gives me the age of Superman is 77, right? I'm gonna go back here, change the age from 77 to 79. I'm just gonna save, right? You're gonna see that the server is gonna restart automatically. You're gonna go back just to make sure it's working fine. I make another request, and this time I get the updated age, right? So now I do not have to restart the server my own self. Now, if you get done with this, give me a yes. If you have any question or doubt, let me know. Right, we are just installing a package nodemon, which is helping us, run the server with live reload. It keeps watching all the files in our project, and if any change happens, it restarts automatically.
Excuse me, for me says sudo is not recognized.
Are you on Windows?
Yes.
If you are on Windows, you do not have to use sudo.
Okay.
You can only use npm install -g nodemon.
Yeah, well, thank you.
Man. Whenever I want to save URL, it says it's saved in collections, and it doesn't let me to save the URL.
You're saying if you create something here and if you try to save,
Yeah.
do you see this pop up here?
Yes, I see, but the orange tab at the bottom, it's hidden like this.
Right. So you need to create a collection here.
Okay.
You see how
Okay.
I created a collection here, web dash services?
Yes. Okay, I got it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No problem. Right. I only see 6 yes so far. That means many of you are facing some issue. Right. You need to do 2 things. Install Nodemon globally here. Sudo npm install -g Nodemon. And with this command here, do not forget that you have to be in the right folder, right? You have to be in my app to run exactly what I have here.
When I do a GET request,
Mhm.
it does not show the put that I had, the post that I had done before. It just shows the original 3.
I'm not sure I understand. Okay.
The arrow that we just added is not
Yeah.
on the list.
Right. It's not gonna be on the list for now because we are not really saving it anywhere,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
If we want that, what we can do is we can
Just
move this
wanted to be
outside.
sure.
Yeah. Yeah. You're not supposed to see it as of now.
Okay.
Yeah. And now that you have reminded me, I think that's what we should do maybe. Add it to the array. All right, guys, do not forget to give me a yes if you are able to change something here, right? And when you save, you should be able to see server restarting, and you should be able to make a request on users and see the new change automatically, right? You should be able to see the new change automatically here without having to restart the server yourself. If you are able to do that, do not forget to give me a yes, right? If you're facing any issue,
I
yeah,
don't see the changes automatically.
right. So when you change something here, let's say I change 39 to 33,
Yes,
and when I save
changed.
the file,
I
do you
saved.
see it saying anything here, restarting due to changes and all of that?
Yeah, restarting due to change.
Right. And when you
But
make the
I
get
don't see in
request again,
Postman. Sorry?
you need to make the get request again in Postman.
Yeah, I did.
And you still see the old changes
The
here?
old. Yes.
Okay, that's weird. Why could this happen? This could only happen if the change that you are making is in a different project than the project where you actually ran the server. Could it be possible?
No, I don't see. Let me check again. I don't know.
It's okay. This could only happen if you are making change in another project and you are running the live server here. So you need to make sure you're making change in the right file.
Yeah, I'm making change in right way.
Okay, so why don't you share your screen? I'm gonna stop sharing here.
Yeah. Yes, this is my comment. change it?
I see everything zoomed in a lot.
Zoomed in a lot?
Yeah, yeah. Okay, yeah, I see your
Now? Is it
yeah,
okay?
I see. Yeah, yes.
Here, if I change it, if to 30, Control S, then I see if you see this command, restarting due to change.
I'm not able to see your editor. I think you would have to share again. I think you only shared a specific
Okay.
window.
Let me. Mm, I'm gonna. Intro. Now,
Yeah, I
you
can
see?
see everything now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
here. If I change it to, for example, to 45,
yeah.
first one, and Control S save,
Mhm.
then I see this restarting
Restarting,
due to change, okay?
right?
And then I go to Postman.
Yeah,
I here in Git
yeah.
and send. Yeah, I don't see this. This 12 should be 45.
Go back to your code. 12, 30, 45.
To my code.
Right. Okay, do first app, my app. Right. It seems like you are making the change in the right file. Let's see if it's the right project. Can you go to command line for me, please? Um, press Control C. Let's stop the server. You are in day 2, my app. Wow, the server seems like the right place too. All right, run the server for me, please.
npm start.
No, Nodemon.
Nodemon bin www.
Yeah, Nodemon space bin/ww.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, do a GET request for me, please, for users.
This is get request. Yeah.
Yeah.
Send.
All
Yeah.
right, let's.
Now work.
Yeah, but let's make a change. This is
Let's
because we manually restarted the server.
Yes. For example, 30.
Yeah.
Control S.
Save.
And then
Can you show me the command line?
yeah. Here.
All right, looks good. Let's do a GET request again.
Again send. No.
Huh.
Doesn't work.
Anyone else facing the same problem? Is there
Yes,
anyone else?
I'm having the same issue.
Are you facing the same problem? Yeah.
Yes, exactly the same thing.
Okay. Are you on Windows too?
Yes.
Okay. The URL seems fine. The server seems to be restarting. Okay, let me quickly Google if this is a common problem on Windows. Okay, can you please try this command and check? I'm sending it to you on the chat.
No, it doesn't work.
Same problem.
Yes.
Right, so let's do this, guys. I don't want to waste time of everyone else's. So let's take a 15 minutes break that we are supposed to take. And in that time, I'll try to help you out, right? I'll see if we are able to figure out what the problem is. So let's take a break and let's get back by 10:45, not PM, AM, right? I'll see you guys in a bit. And Zara, can you please share your screen with me again? Let's see what the
Yeah,
problem
sure.
is. Right, localhost 3000 users. Can you show me your terminal, please? Web services, they do my app. All right, let's shut down the server once.
Control C.
Yeah. Do a change directory, cd bin.
CD.
bin, bin.
Enter.
Yeah, enter, yeah. And now do nodemon. Space www dot. Is it JS? No, just www.
Enter.
Right. Try now.
Now make a change here, for example, time 50, Control S. Yeah. I don't see the changes here. Restarting due to change.
Yeah. All right. Try to make a call anywhere.
In the,
Yeah.
no, the previous one. Showed the previous one.
All right. Let's try close the server. Control C. And type in nodemon space dash capital L and then space www.
No, it doesn't show the changes here.
Control C.
Control C.
Change directory space dot dot.
Change directory.
Yeah,
CD
cd
dot dot
cd
dot.
yeah cd space dot dot. Try now. here. There you go. So what I have done is I'm moving these users from inside the API to outside, right? To have a common list of users, right, between both the APIs here, right? So that's the first thing I'm doing, right? Second thing I'm about to do is I'm about to add the new user, right? In this variable here, right? Right, I'm gonna take. Now to access the body parameters, you can access them in request.body, right? I'm gonna show it to you guys, save this, restart the server, right? Now, when I run the post request from here, right? You see that when I console.log request.body, it actually gives me all the parameters that was passed in the body, right? So the only thing I need to do is I need to take these parameters, right? And I need to add it in this array. To do that, I'm gonna take users dot push, right? This is to add something to the array, right? And then I'm gonna simply add request.body to the array.
Can you do that when users is a const?
Yes. So when you have a variable const, that means you cannot reassign a value, right? But this time we are not doing users equal something. This would be an error, right? But you can modify, you can push or pop or remove or add something in the array, right? The only thing you cannot do is you cannot reassign the variable users, right? Same is the case
You
for
won't be able to
objects.
do a patch.
Sorry, say that again.
You won't be able to do a patch.
I won't be able to do a patch.
Yeah.
What do you mean? I'm not sure I understand.
Well, a patch does an update on the element inside the array.
Oh, okay. You mean if I need to update this entire list, I won't be able to do that?
Well, to update something inside it, to change a
Yeah.
value inside.
We would be able to do that. So I cannot do this, but I can do users. And let's say I take the first element and I do a dot name. I can change the name of Superman to something else. And now this is because I'm not reassigning the variable users. I'm changing
Okay.
the variable here name,
Okay.
right? The only thing you would not be allowed to do is literally reassigning the entire array.
Okay.
But you can change anything inside, right? Same is the case with objects, right? So cannot do this. I'm actually going to comment it here. Allowed. And let's say if you had const a regular variable with like age 20, right? You would not be able to do age equals 25. This would be an error. So you cannot do any reassignation, right? So I would be able to do a push here and it's going to add the new value. And yeah, we can. So there are a few options when you make a post request. I don't know what convention you have followed in PHP. One is where you can just send a status that it was created successfully, or other is you can actually send a response where you can, just say, added successfully. That's option 1. Or option 2, sometimes people would just send the entire new array, which means this thing here, right? Now, if we go to post now, right, we are adding arrow, send a request, right? This time it does send the new users list to us with arrow, right? Now we can change it to something else. Give me a superhero, guys. I'm out of superheroes right now. Superman, Batman, Catwoman, Arrow, Flash.
Spider-Man.
Who?
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man, right? Oh, wow. How can I forget that? Spider-Man. Let's make him a little younger, 30 years old, right? Gonna send this request. And there you go. Now we have Spider-Man added too. And now if we go to a get request, and if we just want to fetch values, right, it's gonna give us those values too. Right? Now, do not forget that this array is in memory, right? So if your server restarts, you're gonna lose all of those newly created users. All right, because we are not saving it in a database or in a file. We are just maintaining the entire variable in memory, right? So as soon as you restart the server, those newly added users are gonna be gone. Make sense? Someone said, can you help me please? Reference error users is not defined. Make sure you move the users outside this function, all right? Because if you have users defined inside this function, it's not gonna be accessible outside. So if we wanna maintain one copy of users that is to be used by both get and post request, you would have to define the users array outside. Right? Don't forget this part. So if you have post request working, and if you're able to add a new superhero, give me a yes in reactions, all right?
Sorry, for me it says app crashed, waiting for file changes before starting.
App crashed.
Yes.
Oh, that must be no demand. You would have to restart it manually once.
Okay.
It's an error.
Did someone say anything?
I don't think you have to restart. I think she just has an error, syntax error, and it just says that.
Manny, we almost don't hear you.
Yeah, the volume is too low. But I think he was saying that it's an error and it's not related to actually restarting the server. So yeah, if you see that, can you send me the error again, please? All right, we have 3 yes so far.
Gosh, can you see my code? Because I don't understand what is the error. Can I share my screen?
Sure. Yeah, go ahead.
Now I see error here, but router.
Says users is not defined. All right, users.push, request.body. Looks fine. Users. Yeah, so if you see on line number 6, right,
Mhm.
you have your users defined inside the router.get function, right?
Okay.
So this users variable is not accessible in the post function, right? So you would have to remove it. Yeah, and you would have to create users outside in the global scope. Yeah, you can just remove the line number 11 entirely. And you have an extra bracket on line number 7.
Actually, just remove line 10.
Oh yeah, you have to get. You have a get request inside a get request. You,
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
working? No
Yes.
problem. Anyone else facing any issue?
Sorry, yes, me.
Mhm.
Can I share?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Each time that I try to start Nodemon,
Mhm.
it says this error.
You're not putting in the right command. Do a control C. Right. Do a PWD for me. I want to see which directory you are in.
PWD.
D. Enter. Right there. Do my app. All right. Now you need to type in Nodemon space bin slash.
Oh yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
And again.
Oh, okay, there's some error. All right, let's scroll up. Let's see what the error is. All right, there it says that the error is in users.js colon 10. That means line number 10, right? So you have users equal to empty array, but you're not defining if it's a variable or what, right? So it should be something. Yeah. Let me send it to you
Okay,
in
so
the
I
chat.
should set constant users.
Exactly.
Okay.
Const space users. Yeah. And now if you want to have a default list of users, then you should provide it in this array. Otherwise, it should be fine.
Okay, perfect. Let me try it again. Control C and then.
You could just press up arrow. It's going to bring in the
Oh,
same
yes,
command for
you're
you.
right. Sorry.
Right. Let's see what the error is now.
You just remove line 10. She's
Oh,
got
yeah, you
users
already
5 and
have
4
users.
on line 4.
Yeah. Yeah, thanks for that. You just have to remove the line number 10 entirely. You're right. Thank you.
What should I do?
So if you see on line number 4, you already have users defined, right?
Oh, yes.
So you
Oh,
just
you're
need to
right.
remove the entire line number 10.
Okay. And then
All right, now it says port number 3000 is already in use. Do you have any other server running?
no, just
Um,
my browser and the Postman.
You see node, okay, go back to VS Code. In the terminal on the top right side, do you see number 4, which says node?
On the right
There's
side.
there's a drop down.
Yes.
There,
Yes. Yes.
exactly. You need to check all of these. I think there might be a server running somewhere there.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
There it is. You need to close the
Mhm.
server.
Okay. Thank you so much.
No problem. All right. Do not forget to give me a yes if your post request is working. If not, please let me know what the issue is. Khalil, Senior, Maxing, are you guys facing any issues?
I have the same issue as Zahra.
Can you share your screen, please?
It's exactly the same. I did all the steps as you guys did together, and I'm just manually restarting my server. I also tried another package instead of Nodemon.
Yeah.
It's called Supervisor, and it works for me. Is it okay to use another package?
100%. Can you give the name to Zara too? Maybe she
Yes,
can
yes.
try the same package.
I'm gonna send her now messages.
Sure.
Thank you.
I'm done. I'm done, but just because I cannot put yes.
Right. Oh yeah. I'm sorry. I just
If I
sent you
will
a
have any
message.
issue, I will ask for sure.
Sure. Sure. Sounds good. Right. So I think we're good to go ahead. Gonna clear this feedback from here. Right. I'm gonna remove this line here. Guys, always feel comfortable to, log whatever is in request. All right. If you're not sure, whatever you're dealing with, the best thing is to, just console log, the key or variable or whatever it is. And this way you would be able to check if, the data that you're dealing with is what you're expecting. All right. I'm going to save this. All right, so we have a GET request, we have a POST request. Let's do
Could you
a
share your
POST
screen?
request. Oh yeah, I'm so sorry. Totally forget. All right, let's do a POST request now, right? So in users, I'm simply gonna do router dot put, right? Same thing, I want the put request, but I want it on the same path, right? And then I'm gonna do a function. Do you guys want to try it before I give you guys the answer? Do you guys want to give it a try? Yes, no?
Yes, why not?
Yeah, okay. So create a put request, all right? And let's say what I want to do is I want to change the entire array to one body raw, right? JSON from here, right? Let's say I want to have something like this, object, users, right? And we can create a few users here. So name, next to Doctor Strange, and age something, right? So maybe you can provide a list of users here, and when you make a put request, it should update the entire array of the users, right? A put request. And whenever you're done, give me a yes. If you're done with the implementation, do send me a screenshot of your code or your response.
Excuse me?
Yeah.
What the final output you wanted here? The user to be exactly just this. So you will remove everything and you will have just this two.
That's right. I'm changing the entire list of users. Can you guys please remind me? You guys said you have used MySQL, right?
Yes.
Yes.
And are you guys familiar with the concept of migrations?
Yes.
All right, all of you, did you guys use any ORM in PHP? Object
I use it
relational
in
mapper.
ASP.NET.
You use ORM in ASP.NET?
Not in PHP. In WPF, in ISP, we used Entity Framework.
Which framework you said?
Entity Framework.
Entity Framework, all right. All right, give me a yes if you, never mind. Okay, let me know in the message if you are comfortable with the concept of migrations, right? With how you make changes in the database, right? Database migrations. If you know what it is and if you're comfortable with that, let me know in the message. Give me a yes or no in the message. Right. The question is, are you comfortable or do you know what database migrations are? right? So, right, we'll get to that because tomorrow we are going to start databases. I just want to make sure I use things that you guys have already done before, right? I just don't want to assume that you know a certain thing if you haven't done it already. Anyway, I'm going to show you guys the put request, right? I have done it in two different ways. Either you can, change whatever. If you do users.length equals 0, this removes everything in the array that's already there. And then I basically just iterate over all the users that have been received in the body. And then I push all of those users one by one in, our users array, right? This is one way of doing it. Now, an easier or shorter way of doing it would be, if you change this const to let, as Tom was saying before, right? In that case, you would not have to do all of this. You could simply do request.body.users, and you could assign it to you could assign it to the users array that we already have, right? But if you want to do this reassignation, you would have to change this const to let, right? I'm sticking to way number 2 as of now, but again, it's a matter of preference. So if you want to change that const to let and stick to way 1, you can do that too. All right, someone said const, can we do something like this? Const users empty array users.push. So someone asked, why did you change the length to 0? This is to erase everything that's already in there in the array, right? This is to make sure that everything in the array, I delete all of those things first. And once I do that, only then, once I have an empty array, only then I start pushing things in the array, right? But you know what? If you guys find all of this confusing, maybe we can stick to way number 1, right? This would be way shorter. The only thing you would have to do is you would have to change this const to let, because we are doing a reassignation here, right? So in this case, we can simply assign the new array to our variable, and that's it. And you can just send the response back. Okay, now if you are done with this, can you please try delete API? And what I want in delete API is I want to empty the entire array, right? And we are going to stick with let here, right? This would make even your deletion easier, right? Let me show you guys here. Localhost 3000 users, right? We want to delete all the users in the array, right? And in this case, we do not have to send any parameters here, right? Because we want to delete all the users in the list. So once I send this delete, it should basically bring me an empty array, right? Which would be the new response. And I am actually going to do it on the site so that I could show you the actual response. And there you go. Right? So once I make a delete request, it should empty the entire thing. Now, even if I make a get request, it's going to return me empty array. If I want to see new value, if I want to add Spider-Man here, I would send a post request. It would create one value for me. And now if I make a get request, it would give me Spider-Man only. Right? I'm going to save this. Delete dash users. Right? Give me a yes whenever you are done with this. One person is done. Nice. Done in messages. 4 done total. Six people done.
Sorry, I can't delete the user. I don't know why.
All right, let me show you guys how to do it. You simply just have to initialize it to an empty array, right? Because you don't really have to delete it. You can simply overwrite the entire value, right?
Oh, yes.
Or length to 0, the same, right?
Or length to 0, right? That would work too.
Aren't we doing individually, like one user at a time, or?
You can do that, but why would you? I mean, it's just more
Or you just
execution.
deleting?
Yeah, deleting the
Okay.
entire array. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But again, don't forget we are using let here. That's the reason we are able to do it. If you would have const, then you would have to remove all the items one by one. All right, and if you are doing that, you can use pop. Right, there's a method on array, pop. Have you guys done stacks? Have you guys done data structures? Stacks?
We did data structure, but we didn't do stack. We did like binary trees mainly.
Okay.
What else? I cannot remember what else. Yeah, and linked list, this things.
Okay.
But even if it's const with length 0 would work, right?
Yeah, that would work. All right, please don't forget to give me a yes if you're done with this. All right, if you're done with the delete request, please do not forget to give me a yes. All right, 9 people. All right. All right, so far, all the routes that we have created, all of these routes are basically on the resource users, right? Like whatever we are doing it on all the users, right? If you're making a GET request, we are getting all the users. If you're making a POST request, we are creating a new user. If we make a PUT request, we are changing all the users. And if we delete, we are deleting all the users, right? But what if I only want to delete one user, right? If I have a list of users, what if I only want to say, hey, delete the user with the name Superman, all right? In that case, what you can do is you can have query parameters when you're creating your route, right? You can create a router.delete, right? And here you can actually create a variable name, all right? When you do this, you're basically saying that you are creating a new route by users slash and then the name of the user, let's say Superman, all right? But it could be anything. It could be user slash Superman, or it could be users slash Spider-Man, right? And so on, all right? Now let's see how you can access this, right? How you can access the name that you are going to receive in the variable. So what you have to do is I'm going to console.log it, and we should get it in request.params, right? Request.params, and let's see if that happens, if that works fine. create a new route. Right, we want to make a delete request for users, but for a specific user, right? So let's do Superman, right? I'm gonna send this request. And there you go. You see here in the object, you're getting the variable name and then the value that you have actually received in here, right? This part, right? And this key is gonna be whatever you put here, right? If you put in here, superhero name, right? Refresh this, gonna send the request again, right? If you put this here, you know, your key is gonna be superhero name, right? So in params, you get all the parameters that you put in here with colon, right? And now you have the name of the superhero that you wanna remove, right? So you are gonna filter the name of the users from the entire array, and then you're gonna remove that one specific user, right? Let's do that. What I'm gonna do, you have request.params. Okay, let's try it. All right, let's give it a try. We do have time before we even go on break, right? So what I want to do is I want to say user/Superman, and it should only remove Superman from the entire users list, and it should, you know, keep the other users. I just want to remove a specific user with the name that I provide here. All right, and you get this parameter, superhero name, you're gonna get in params here, right? Request req.params. Gonna remove this. this one's gonna take a little bit of time, all right? You see the response in front of you, right? So if I remove Batman, it only has Catwoman because I already deleted Spider-Man, Superman. Anyway, let me show you guys. If I remove Batman, right, it's gonna have only Superman and Catwoman. And if I try to remove Batman again, it's gonna give me a response, hey, user not found, because I've already deleted Batman, right? So if I want to delete Catwoman, it's gonna remove and it's only gonna give me Superman, all right? So you have to find that specific user with that specific name, and then you need to remove that user. And dissect the problem into two phases. Your first goal should be to find the index of the user that you're trying to look for, right? So first of all, find the user that needs to be deleted. Second thing, delete the user. One person's done. Can I see your solution, please? All right, I'm repeating again, you need to break down the problem in two parts. The first part of the problem is finding exactly the index of the user you need to delete. And the second part of the problem is actually deleting that user. All right, I'll give you guys a hint. You can find the index of a specific user using the method find index. And you can remove a specific user from the entire array using the method splice. All right, do you guys need more time to solve this, or do you want me to give you the solution?
More time.
More time? All right, so let's do this. Let's have a break, right? Let's get back by 12:40 p.m., right? And then you guys can have some more time to, do this, solve this issue, right? Back 12:40 p.m. All right, so superhero name is basically going to be where we are gonna get the name of the parameter that we are passing here after users, right? And you're gonna receive it in request params and then the name of the key. And I'm using users.findIndex. FindIndex is a method on arrays, which helps you find index of a specific element in the array. So you get all the users in there one by one. And I want to find the index of the user whose name is equal to superhero name, right? So whenever this method finds the same name, it's going to return me the index of that user, right? It's going to return me the index where that object is saved. If FindIndex is not able to find the same name, it's going to return me -1, right? Now, again, I don't remember that. I don't keep, I don't cram that in my mind. You can simply go and check out the API, all right? I'm gonna open this up here. Find index.js. Open this up here. So it says the find index method returns the index of the first element in the array that satisfied the provided testing condition. Otherwise, it returns -1, indicating that no element passed the test, right? So if the index is found, we are going to get the index in this variable. If not, it's going to be -1. So I check the condition if the index is greater than equal to 0, all right? Because otherwise, basically the user was not found, right? That I put in the else part. And if the index is found, I'm using splice. And in splice, you have to say on what index you want to make the change and how many values do you want to delete on that index. So whatever index I have found, that's the index where I want to make change. And I only want to delete one value, which is on that index. And that's it, right? This is finding the index. Check if the element was found, right? And if it was found, delete the element at the array position, at the found index position, right? And this is where we are. Return response, right? Respond, the user was not found if index is less than 0. All right, any questions or any doubts here? Take a few minutes. All right, please don't just, copy this on your system. It's not going to give you much of an understanding. You really want to understand each and every line here, right? And if there's anything that you want me to repeat or you do not understand, just let me know.
So just a question. Request.params. This are what will return? I thought that you don't need to by default will return whatever you will pass there. Yeah, as a string. Or
Yeah,
no?
that's right. That's exactly what's
But
going to happen.
no, but you put dot superhero. So
Oh,
I didn't put dot superhero. So
yeah.
actually, this is what when I stuck, I think, because I try a lot of things. I don't know why it's not working, because I did just user dot name equal request dot params.
Right. So, okay, the reason we have to put this is because you can have more things. All right. You could even have, hey, I want to delete the superhero with this name, and you can also have age. So in this case, you can have two variables you are receiving. Right. So in that case, in request params, you would have to mention which parameter you want to use. Right. You would have to give the name of it. That's number one. Number two is if you get stuck with these kind of things ever, you always want to log whatever you are dealing with, right? So if I were you and if I were stuck with this, I would log this and I would see what exactly do I receive in request params, right? So now if I run this, right, it's going to run the API, but it's going to tell me that in request.params, I have an object, and this object has the key superhero name in which I have the name of the superhero that I want, right? So two things. You would need the name of the variable here because there can be multiple parameters, right? There could be superhero name, and you could also have age if you want. Oh, you could also have colon age, right? And in that case, you would have request.params.superhero name, and you could also have request.params.age, right? And second thing is, if you ever get stuck in this kind of situation where you are not sure what exactly you have in request.params, the best thing is to always console.log the entire thing. This way you would know what you're dealing with.
Okay, thank you.
All right, no problem.
Yeah.
Anything else, guys? Any other problem? Anyone who was stuck with any other situation?
Excuse
Anything
me,
you would like to discuss?
line 47, if we don't have this line, anything changed without this line?
This line
What?
here,
Yeah, what does it do?
this just prints the request.params here.
Oh, here in the, okay.
Right, in the console, right? This is just if you, if you want to see the value in a specific variable, if you want to see what you're dealing with, what it looks like, what is the structure of the variable, you can print it on the console and actually see what you're dealing with. So this is just for debugging purposes at this point. Someone said yesterday's video is still not available on Teams. Yes, I'm sorry about that. I would upload it right after our class. Also, is there any chance for us to have the exam just on Monday? It would be priceless to have the weekend to prepare. I thought about it, and I mean, obviously, personally, I have no problem with it. The only problem is gonna be if you have your midterm on Monday, we are only gonna have 3 days after that, which means that you would have only 2 days between the midterm and the final exam. And also you would not have the weekend to prepare for your project. If that's what you guys want, I'm okay with it, but I think that's gonna cause you problem in the long run. All right, let me know in chat directly or in everyone. Let me know what your preference is. If everyone wants it on Monday, we would have it on Monday. But you need to make sure that you shouldn't be crying later on that your final exam is right after 2 days, and then you have your project due. So someone said, what will be covered on the first exam? So in your first exam, it's going to cover, in your midterm exam on day 5, it's going to cover everything until day 4. All right, whatever we do, even tomorrow. Okay, so someone asked me, what is our project about? It's obviously going to be creating APIs, all right? And I'm going to try to make it a full stack project, right? But we'll see how much time you have and how much you are able to cover in that much time, all right? So maybe I'll give you front end, maybe I won't. That's something I still need to decide. Okay, so most of the people are saying Friday, 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 all right? All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, 10 people sent me Friday, so we'll stick to Friday, right? And I understand that it would be nice to have a weekend, you know, to prepare, but again, it's gonna cause you problem in the long run. Right? All right, we'll stick to Friday then. All right, anyone has any question or any doubt regarding how I found the index and how I removed the value? Anything regarding this API?
I actually just had one problem, one error, and it was deleting everything. I forgot to put a length on the splice.
Right, yeah, don't do that. One mistake could literally screw up everything. I think we all have had our times when, you know, we debug for 2-3 hours and then our friend comes in, has a look and like, oh, you're just missing a semicolon. Oh, you just have a typo. Yeah, it's gonna be one of those kind of mistakes. Has it happened with all of you already? Those kind of problems where you spend too much time on debugging and the next thing you know is it was just a typo?
Many times.
Many times. Yeah, happens with everyone. No matter how many years you code, you would always have these kind of issues. The frequency would lessen, but pretty much that's it. All right. Give me a yes if you are done with this, if you're done with the delete API, and if you understand, you know, whatever is going on here. Right? Give me a yes. Give me a yes if we are ready to move on to the next thing. All right, 10 people, 11. All right, I'm gonna clear this feedback. Good enough. Okay, we are not gonna do anything new as such, new in terms of concept. All right, I'm gonna give you some time to practice, you know, what we did. We have had an example of a get, put, and post request, right? We have seen how to access the body parameter when something is sent into the body of a request. And we have also seen how we can access query parameters, right? When something is, when some parameter is sent in the URL itself, right? Now, what does that mean? Now, that means that we would be able to edit one specific user too, right? So if someone sends us a request and someone says, hey, I want to change some value in Superman. And then if we have, let's say, the name and the age that needs to be changed, we can change a specific user in the array, right? We can also get one specific user by name if we want, right? So that's what I want you guys to do, right? I'm gonna write it down here so that it's clear what to do. Right, write an API to fetch one specific user by name, right? And then another one, write an API to edit one specific user by name. So if I give the name Superman, and if I say, hey, I want to change the name of Superman to Superman Hero, and I want to change the age of Superman from 40 years to 50 years, I should be able to do that using this API, right? So this is going to be a get API. And because we are editing here, this is going to be a put API, right?
Put,
Now,
not a patch.
when you are editing one specific user and you're passing all the values, it's still a put request, right?
Okay.
When we are editing one specific user, but we are only editing, you know, part of fields, then it would be a patch request.
Okay. Okay.
Right? So if the superhero has 10 fields and we say, hey, we only want to update 3 values, the rest of the 7 fields are going to be exactly the same. In that case, it would be a patch request. All right. So this would be your in-class assignment, right? By the way, guys, this get request, put request, patch request, all of these are conventions, right? These are not rules. These are conventions, right? I could actually have a put request, and if I want, I could actually add a new user here. All right. I could actually do users, right, dot push, and I could actually take this entire thing and add a new user, right? Now, if I do that, to do this, this would technically not be wrong. All right. Technically, my servers are going to work and it's going to do what I ask it to do. I mean, if I make a put request, it's going to add a new value to the array, right? It would be logically incorrect because we would not be following conventions in that case, right? But never forget, get, put, post, these are conventions. These are not rules, right? When you do a put request, you should edit the resource. That's what other developers would understand or expect, right? But if you don't do that, if you add a new value input, your server's never gonna cry. Your server's never gonna say it's wrong, right? Your server doesn't care what you do inside. All right, is that clear? If I was in an interview, if I was interviewing someone for Node.js, I would definitely ask this question, right? All right, I'm gonna fix this for now. All right. These are
So,
But
conventions.
is this related to performance or no?
No, this in no way has anything to do with performance.
Especially between the batch and put or something. No?
Between put and patch, no, no, it has nothing to do with.
So
I mean,
for
some
edit,
people.
I can use either both.
I mean, technically, yes. Technically, you could make a GET request and create a new user in GET request, right?
Yeah.
And yeah.
But is it like if let's say for this example, I will put like a specific user. I know I can do it with put or batch, but is it batch better because I'm like target just like specific user, so I directly apply it to that one.
So okay, I see where the confusion is happening. You guys are thinking that if I'm doing a put or patch, a put request, I'm doing it on users, all right? So the decision of put or patch is not gonna be made if you're changing all the users or not. It really depends what is your path here, all right? Now, if your path of put request looks something like this, right? if this is what your put request looks like for a specific user, right? Now, the scope of the problem is not all the users. Scope of the problem is only one user here, right? Because you are doing it
Okay.
for a specific user now. So
Okay.
now the question is not if you are updating only one user, so you should use patch. Now the question becomes, would you be updating all the fields in a user, or would you be updating only some fields in the user, all right? So let's say if there were more fields in every user, there was name, age, superpower, origin, country of origin, trademark, and all of that. In that case, you would ask yourself, hey, would I be updating all the 10 fields? And if you say yes, you would use a put request. And if you say, hey, if I need to update only the name or only the trademark, would I only send one field from the backend? And if you say yes, in that case, it would be a patch request, right? So the question is, would you be updating this entire object, or would you be updating this, some fields from the object? For instance, only age. All right, so put all the fields, right? Patch partial fields, all right? Only some fields that you want to update. So if I have a put request, again, these are conventions, first of all, but if it's a put request and let's say if someone creates a put request and I want to change the age, I would still have to send all the values here, all right? Including name and age and all of that. But if it's a patch request, I would only send the age of the person that needs to be updated. Right? If it's 70–80% clear, that's good enough for now. We can just rediscuss this entire thing. Let's say once we have done a few more APIs, all right?
Okay.
I'm going to remove this. Now, in-class assignment is to have user-specific APIs for get and put. And then your home assignment is going to be to create API for orders, right? And all the orders. I should have a get API to fetch all the orders. This is something we already have, right? Get API to fetch all the orders. And then put API to edit all the orders. Oh, come on. Right. And get put post API post API. You know what? I'm actually going to divide it in sections. Each resource, or I should say single resource. All resources. Get API to fetch all orders, put API to edit all orders. And delete API to delete all orders. Get put delete. We shouldn't create a post for all the orders. I think we should only have single API for that. Get put delete. This should be good enough. And for single resources, get API to fetch one order. And you know what? I'm going to do it by ID. Put API to put API to edit. One order by ID. Delete API to delete one order by ID. Post API to create a new order. All right, so you need to create 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 APIs, right? 4 APIs for single resources and 3 APIs for all the resources. And I'm actually also going to give you what order should look like. Orders equals an array here, right? An object here. So your order should have an ID, like a number, all right? It should have a product name. Right, whatever you like. And then the price of whatever the order is. Let's say $200. And all right, let's say every product has a color too, right? All right, ID too. Quantity, yes, that would be nice. Quantity. Let's say we have 200 units of Reebok shoes. Sports t-shirt. Let's say we have 100 units and the color is blue. And let's have quantity too. 100 units, right? And let me actually move this to the orders file, right? So that it's easier for you guys to find it. Go to orders. I'm gonna write all of this here. And this should be const. Facing some error, let's see. Router.index, router.use requires a middleware function, but got something.
You remove the module.export in the users.
Got it. Thanks for that. There you go. All right, fix the error. Thank you again for that. Now I'm pushing all of this to GitHub, all right? So that you could actually get all of this content that I've written here, right? Now, this pretty much just means that we are going to create all the APIs for orders that we created for users, right? So for users, we are going to create 2 more APIs, and then we are going to create all those same APIs for orders. Any question or any doubt here?
Sorry, in my understanding, I think it's no matter what you post, you have posted before, when you put a request, it's replace all the fields with put, yes?
Yes, that's right.
Okay, thank you.
So put replaces all the fields of that entity, whereas patch would only replace the keys that you pass from the API.
Got it. Thank you.
I can actually show you an example here too. So let's say I'm making a put request here, right? And do I have put for a specific thing? No. So I'm making a put request here, right? In this case, we only have 1 key, right? So my example won't make much sense, but what I can do is I can write a put API, this API for one specific user. And I think then the example would make more sense. So I'm just going to copy this, right? Come right here. This isn't the way that you guys make me do your assignments, right? Just want to make sure. Put request, right? Hero name, right? And in this case, I'm going to remove this, right? So we want to edit one specific user here, right? So we would have to look for that user exactly the same way, the way we did here, right? Remove this here, right? So this would find us the index of the user that needs to be edited, right? And once we have that, we need to edit it. So we could simply do users, right? And on that specific index, right, we would simply replace whatever is, provided, right? So hero name is provided here. So we are gonna do request dot. Now in body, I would get everything that needs to be replaced, right? So I'm gonna set that here. Yeah, I'm gonna leave this here for a few seconds for you guys to have a look and digest this pretty quick. This put API for one specific hero, one specific user. Right, give me a yes if you understand this, right? If you understand what's going on from line number 68 to 72, give me a yes.
But we need to validate also if we found it or not, I think, right?
Yeah, that would be nice. Yes.
Yeah, all the time, yeah.
Yeah, otherwise it's gonna give you an error. So yeah, we can put an if condition. That's a good idea. If found index is less than 0, right? Because if it's less than 0, it's a problem. That means that specific name wasn't found, right? In that case, what we're going to do is we are simply going to do a response .json, and I'm going to say user not found, and all of this could go in else part. There you go. Right? Or you could do the other way around, the way I did here, right? I mean, the condition is just opposite, but it's the same thing. So if you understand what's happening here, do give me a yes. If you do not understand, take your time or ask your questions.
Sorry, whenever I have a post after put, it's going to be a nested object. You know what I
That
mean?
shouldn't be the case. That shouldn't be the case. If you're doing that, that means you're somewhere your keys are being wrong.
Okay.
Right. So if you are doing a post request, I guess, right, maybe here you are using request.body only and not request.body.users in your put request, right? Maybe that could be a reason.
Okay, I will check it. Thank you.
No problem. All right, so I have 12 yes and one more in the chat. So that means we have 13 yes. Other people, do you have any question? Khalil, Manny, any doubts? Parina, Serge, can I help you guys with anything?
I said yes, no?
Oh, I just removed it anyway. It's all right. All good. Okay. Now to quickly go over again, I want to edit only one specific user. So what I do is, first of all, I find that user, right? And then once I've found the user, I go to that index and I replace all of those values with whatever is provided by the user, right? I replace everything, right? As simple as that. Okay, now let me show this example to you guys here. So now if I do localhost users, I need to provide a specific name, right? Let that be Catwoman. And we want to make a put request. And now when we make a put request, we want to provide values here, JSON, and we want to, let me check. Okay, we have name and age, right? So what we want to do is we want to change the name of Catwoman to Catwoman Hero, let's say, and we want the age to be updated with 57, right? Now, when I do this, I'm going to send this request, right? And it's going to update those values for me, right? So now I have updated one specific user in my entire list of users, right? Now, this is a put request, right? Now, if I were to remove this key entirely, age, like literally entirely, right? And I say, hey, I want to edit Catwoman, and I send this request, right? Oh yeah, not found because now I have Catwoman Hero. But let's edit something else, Batman, right? And let's say I want the name to be updated to Batman Hero, let's say, right? But I'm not providing any age now, right? So when I send this request, now you are gonna see age is gone entirely, all right? Because put request says, hey, whatever values you provide, those are gonna be the new values for me. I'm gonna get rid of everything that existed before, and I'm gonna replace your entire object. I'm gonna replace Batman entirely with the new values you provide me, all right? Whereas a patch request would only, if it was a patch request, it would only update the name to Batman Hero, but it would keep the age as it is because it would assume that you have only given to the request what you want to update. Whereas put request assumes that whatever you gave me, this is supposed to be the new updated value. Right? Does it make sense, guys? Yes, no, give me a yes or no.
Yes.
Does it make sense?
No, yes, much better now.
Yeah. Okay,
With
if you
example,
want, I
yeah.
can actually show you the patch request too, what it would look like. Right, let's say we were doing a patch request and you'll take a hero name, we'll find the index, and if the index is not found, we'd say user not found. Otherwise, if the index is found, now you would have to be more cautious, right? Because now you need to update each value only if it's there. If you do not get a value, you do not update it, right? So you need to check. You need to check if your request.body, right, dot name exists, if you received it, right? And if you received it, only then you would update users found index dot name equals request dot body name, right? So if the person does not send you the name from the front end, you are not going to update that part of the user, right? You're just going to keep it as it is. And you're going to do the same thing for the other key too, right? You're going to check if in the request you actually received the age at all or not, right? And if you do, you're going to take this and you are going to update found index.age equals request.body.age. And this part's not going to be here, right? So for patch request, we check for each key if it's there or not. If there is, we update it. Otherwise, we leave it as it is. Whereas in put, we are saying, hey, remove entirely whatever existed before and just add whatever new values I have provided you. Right?
So we need to check. We need to check with patch. I thought that without checking directly will update just the name, for example.
There are ways to do that in your database, because right now we are not using a database, so we literally have to check each value. But there are smarter ways to achieve the same thing if you're working with a database. Right? So conceptually, it would do the same thing, but we would just do it in a simpler and an easier way in real life. Right, so I have this. I'll actually show you again an example. Just gonna save this. This is gonna be a put request. I'm just gonna duplicate this, right? So that I don't have to put in the entire thing again. So now if I want to update Batman, but I want to update the name of the Batman to Batman Hero, I'm gonna send this request, right? Oh, I didn't change it to patch, my bad. Let me restart the server here so that I have all the values as those are supposed to be. Right, now you see it updated the name to Batman Hero, right? But the age remains as it is. So now this time I have updated an entity partially, right? Only some fields have been updated. All right, if you understand 80% or more, give me a yes. All right, if you understand the difference between put and patch, 80% or more, give me a yes. $11 people. All right, that's good. Okay. Now, if you do not understood it by 80% or more, it's fine. All right. This is not like one of the most important concepts in APIs. All right. Give it some time, let the idea sit for some time, and it would make sense within a few days. Right. This is one of those concepts which, just takes some time to make sense. All right. I'm going to stop recording here.